My dad did 100 episodes of
he?
Candid Camera. They brought it back.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, and he, like, Alan Funt, I think, was the guy who was the original guy.
Sure.
But my favorite was when they did Candid Camera,
Yeah.
and they would have my dad, like, talk to little kids and ask questions.
Oh, I bet your dad was great at that.
It was good.
I'm going to say this, and then we'll get to the fan Q&A, which I love.
Q&A.
I love doing this because I love hearing where, like, fans' brains are at and what they're curious about and what they want to know. I love our fan Q&A episodes. But my parents were just watching old Johnny Carson episodes. I think my dad was, because he's stuck in the 50s and 60s and 70s.
Johnny Carson used to host The Tonight Show for many years.
He was the host of The Tonight Show. And then everybody else just tried to keep up after. But my dad saw an interview with your dad on Johnny Carson where he talked about, like, something with, like, little David, and then, like, you were, like, the butt of some joke that he made, and we were just like, that's so crazy.
I don't know. I think my brother dropped me on my head or something.
It was something like that.
If you guys do go and watch Johnny Carson, my dad did several episodes, and he actually guest hosted one time.
Did he really?
Very proud of my dad. But he did the egg trick. If you put in Johnny Carson, Dom DeLuise, the egg trick.
I know what I'm doing when I get home. He was so great on Johnny Carson, and there were so many great, comedians.
It was a different time.
It was.
Celebrity was big. Because my dad and Burt Reynolds did many movies together. I think 5.
Yeah.
And it just was a different time. One of the things that I love that Burt did when he adopted Quentin was he had his brother take a picture of him because the paparazzi was trying to get a shot of the baby.
Yeah.
So he kind of held him, and they set up a shot where the brother took the picture, like they didn't want it taken, and they sold the picture for $250,000.
Well, I mean, and now celebrities do that all the time to, like, they beat people to it, so they have, like, a photo shoot.
I know that they do, and but it's. How do you feel about that? Do you think it's okay that a celebrity is complaining about the paparazzi, but then working with the paparazzi and getting paid?
I thought you were asking, like, if you feel like it's okay that, like, celebrities show their kids. And to me, I'm like, unless the kid is interested in being an actor or whatever, I don't think that's okay. The whole working with the paparazzi thing, I don't care. Yeah. I don't care enough to have an opinion, to be perfectly blunt. I mean, to me, everybody has to come to their own terms with, like, how they feel about things and stuff like that.
I'm curious what the fans think. Are you guys okay with the fact that some celebrities
like call the paparazzi on themselves?
They're like, I'm going here.
I think it's a little sleazy. Personally, it's not my style, but I don't care one way. If that's their prerogative, okay, that's your business.
Right. But it was different. It was different back then. Not everybody had a camera in their hand 24/7. You had a little more privacy.
Yeah.
But the idea that celebrity, like Burt Reynolds, was the biggest star in the world.
Yeah.
Like, he was, and he had that presence. And
there was the stash, man.
It was,
He had the stash.
There was a little more
mystery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More
I miss that in a time I wasn't alive in.
I feel so old.
No.
By the way, for the people who are listening, I'm completely red. Yeah, I was a baby, but
you were little.
It was a different time.
You know who I loved? I'm going to say this, and then we're going to get to fan questions because all the fans have fallen asleep during this conversation. They have all passed out, taken a nap. Is Don Rickles is who I still love watching on Johnny Carson. Because I love just the mathematical brain that it takes and the quickness to be able to roast like that.
And he didn't give a shit.
And I love that.
He just would take the piss out of everybody.
I love it.
And
nobody was safe.
Those roasts came from the Dean Martin roast. And my dad and Don Rickles and everybody, they would go up there and roast.
I geek out so hard.
It's not as raunchy as it is now,
There was a classier element. Okay, wake up, everybody.
Good morning, wizards.
Guten Tag. That was for Julia.
It's German, yes.
That was for Julia, David's wife. Okay, so we're
that
doing
means good
fan
day,
questions.
by the way.
All right, so I'm going to start out. Rockablue 2 has a few questions. Are you ready? Some of these have to do with Harper's outfits, so I'm biased.
Okay, good.
I'm biased. That's why I picked up. Okay, does the markers on the marker dress still work? Some of them do. Most of them are dried out.
What do? Do you go in and, like, check them every once in a while, see if they work?
Well, it's like maintenance on a car. You know, you go in, you pull them off and go, does this one work? I mean, no, of course not. But like I for like a social media thing, I pulled it out recently and kind of like briefly, because people are like, what dresses do you have? And I kind of showed that I had it. And I just was curious myself of like if they still worked. And some of them still do, which is shocking. And then another question that they had was, why did it take 2 years to change the theme song / sequence in the opener?
Okay, well, I'm going to give you my answer.
Okay, I'm excited.
As to why I think, because I wasn't involved in that. But I think that...
Yeah, none of us, we were put in front of the camera. We were not involved in that decision.
As she deserves certain, praise and financial compensation, I feel like they redid the theme song to maybe give Selena a little more cha-ching, a little more cash in a certain way.
Because what do you mean they redid the theme song? They're talking about the opening credits. They never redid the theme song.
Yeah, they did.
When?
The opening credits song. They
the song
remixed it. They redid it.
I don't believe you. The opening credits song was the same.
Oh my God. Okay, so every single fan that's listening, tell us.
Are they going to come rip me a new asshole?
In the beginning.
Like Jennifer doesn't know.
Yeah, like she's more sing-songy, more talk, like
did she redo the song?
Yes.
But it was the same song.
Okay, same song, but a new version.
Oh,
so I could be wrong.
That's possible.
But I think they were, look, if it's not broke, don't fix it is my opinion. But
I didn't think they
redid the opening.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
And I think they redid the theme song from that.
You guys let us know, because you know better than all of us. Wow. You guys school us all the time.
Hey, Jen Stone, let's agree to disagree on this one.
No, but I really want to know. So you guys let us know. Did she re-record the song?
Okay,
or
how
not?
How about this? I will bet you
$50. 50 big ones.
That the original song in the opening
was re-recorded.
Is different and re-recorded.
Okay.
Do you take that bet?
I take that bet. I take that bet.
$50 I just made $50
baby. And I think I just made $50. But as far as like taking 2 years to change the theme song sequence, even though I don't think they changed the theme song, but the sequence was just because we looked older and got older, and I think they held on to it as long as they could. And then especially Jake, like he looked like a different person.
Yeah, 100% a different person.
So we had to change it.
It was 3 years later. And that's one of the reasons why we did so many episodes. Typically, a sitcom will do 22 episodes in a season. But we did, I think one season was 28, one was 30, one was something. Yeah.
We changed the theme song because like we just looked different. So I think they held on to the first one as long as they could. But then Jake looked like a different person.
Right. But I'm curious too that I think the opening credits changed in the fourth season. Or did they change in the third season?
The third season, I think it changed. Because I think we had the same one for the first and second, and then it changed the third and fourth. I mean, you guys correct me if I'm wrong. I know you will.
How did you feel? I loved the opener. Obviously, it had to change, but the effort that was put into the new opener, I was not thrilled with. We tied together and there was a thing to it. Listen, the opening of shows now is like a whole profession, with Game of Thrones and all these shows that the opener.
With the whole sequence.
Yeah, they do like a thing. And I loved our opening,
And there was a charm to the original opening.
And then it just became like cuts together of little pieces and things that we did that were...
There are things I liked about both. Yeah. I mean, but I hear what you're saying. There was definitely a charm and I think a nostalgia for me for the original opener. But we also I looked like a baby.
I've seen so many fans recreate, not so many fans, but I've seen videos where they actually shot and recreated the opening, themselves.
I know. I have too. I love it too. I've seen fans recreate the transitions, which always makes me laugh. There's psychedelic transitions.
Which I didn't think I was in, but then in rewatching the show, I was in one. I was very happy about that.
So we've got a few more parts to this question. And then we gotta give some other fans a chance here, Rockablue. Okay, so who caused the most trouble on set? Quick
David?
Answer.
Henry?
Maybe.
Well, who do you think?
Yeah, probably David and Jake. But they had that whole prank war going during the first season.
Which I didn't even know about. I didn't know there was a prank war. I was obviously busy doing something else.
You're busy having a family and being an adult and not having a prank war. What a concept.
But I you know what? There was pranks. They would prank me. Like there was an episode where I was eating a pie and they kept telling me something was wrong with the camera and I ate 7 things, and then I realized.
But you committed all 7 times.
As I do, I am a consummate actor.
And then last question from Rockablue. How do you guys know if you're in that episode for the week, since both of us have not been in all the episodes?
Right.
We found out the Sunday before or the day before table read.
You know what? Yeah, they really didn't give us the
Not a lot of
heads up.
Yeah.
No, it was not. We were not Disney. we were not thought about in that way.
Well, but also too, it's business, right? Like it's not I'm so sorry you're not in this week. It's hey, we're moving on to next week. You're not in it.
Right.
Have a nice week.
Every once in a while, I would get a heads up, or I would ask
nice.
so that I could, do something.
Yeah,
with the family,
I did as well, because I know at a certain point, like I was going back and forth from Texas, and I remember there was one time they didn't give me a heads up,
and you flew back,
I flew
right?
back, and I was like, I could have spent an extra week with my family in Texas, but the producers tried to give us a heads up when they could, but they couldn't always because things change, All right, give me a question, D. Give me a question.
Okay. Pavlov's son, Jennifer, did you ever get a chance to pitch any ideas for your outfits?
Our costume department was so talented. I would get inspired by what they were already working on. And some of it, especially as we started to get going, was scripted. So they would be like, oh, Harper has this theme outfit, or because the writers had a lot of fun with it once it really became a part of her character. Of adding to the joke of it, and because it was very easy to be funny when you're wearing like a tiger on your shoulder. But I would get really inspired by what the wardrobe department was already working on. So I would make suggestions of like, oh, wouldn't it be cool? I would just get excited and try to jump in on the collaboration process. But as far as making suggestions, like right off the bat, they didn't need me to do that. They just needed me to inhabit the character within the pieces of artwork that they were already working on.
You made the outfits work. You made them funny and worked with them. And it was interesting because I think the first episode that you did, you talked about the fact that you made your own outfit, that you sewed it. So that was from the get-go, Harper was going to be
the 10-minute sale
that.
with the rainbow socks and like the daisy shirt. I still have the rainbow socks, and I think the daisy shirt, because that outfit is, even though it's not like as crazy camp that Harper got.
It's the sentimental.
It's the sentimental of, this is like the beginnings of what she will become, But
I still can't believe you had a broken toe.
I have 2. I had 2 broken toes during that episode.
So just so everybody knows, I was right. And
all right.
in the 4th season, the opener changed what you saw, and also the song was remixed.
That touches on the fact, because the last fan Q&A that we did, or one of them, I'm losing track. I'm getting old, kid. They asked if we'd ever been to a Selena concert, and we have. We went to her first one ever on Sunset Boulevard
at
with
the
Selena
Roxy.
At
it
the
was
Roxy.
During the day, so there was no alcohol or anything.
Yeah.
And
we were all children except for you.
I remember very vividly
Sorry,
I was grown up.
I was like, you are an adult.
I remember very vividly that they were, she was on stage with the scene, the band, and they were like doing the, shoulder to shoulder, back to back kind of thing. And then she like leaned back on him and he leaned back on her. And I don't know. I just remember that. I don't know. It's crazy. Weird that I said that.
I should have known with like the Disney synergy that they would have brought in the scene and like promoted her band by redoing the song. All right. I owe you $50.
It's okay, Jen.
No, it's not okay for me. I'm out $50.
I'm going to say this. Why don't we donate that $50 to a charity of your choice?
I love that.
Okay.
I love that. Okay. Sophia Elardi asked, did either of you have a favorite boyfriend of Alex? No offense to Greg, but mine was Dean.
Oh, wow. I really liked Dean in the beginning. I thought he was very Grease. You know what I mean?
He was. Very Danny Zuko.
But he was older and everything was okay. Did he act like a butthead or something? Or was it?
I mean, I was biased because
you had a crush on every single boyfriend, right?
So literally, like, he was a breathing boy. And I was like, he's great.
He could breathe, so I liked him.
Yeah, essentially at that time, yes.
Now, I'm
gotten
only
a little
saying
pickier,
that,
thank God.
About the actor who played Dean, because I don't know, but I was like, where did he go? What happened?
Dan.
I thought he was funny. Yeah, I thought he did it great.
I don't know. I had known Dan before the show. Actually,
okay.
he was kind of, we were acquaintances, and he was kind of in my friend circle, and I was really excited for him to come on the show. And then I saw him a few times after, and then I don't know what happened to Dan.
I was very surprised that he went away.
Yeah.
What about Riley? I just remembered Riley.
Oh my God.
You remember him?
Yes.
He was so happy and nice. He was
you know
like,
where I
hey,
saw
Alex, how you doing? You know?
I saw him at, because he was so freaking happy. He was very, very
And
upbeat.
older. I mean,
he was a lot older.
okay.
He was a lot older. He was like mid to late 20s, which for us,
He
when we're
looked like he was
teenagers-
50 to me.
Well, but I saw him at Trader Joe's
really?
like not that long ago, and I was like, oh my God. And he's still just as happy. Jessica Altro asked, is there any, and she says, is, with all caps, is there any storylines that you didn't really like or would have wanted to change in any way for your characters and for other characters?
Well, I've said this, that I did not, I was...
Pick a different one. That was very bossy.
I,
Pick a different one. Like, that was so bossy.
I'm so red and embarrassed.
God.
Do you know what I'm about to say? What was I going to say? I can pick something else. Something we didn't like.
Well, no, I don't want to.
I didn't, I'm going to tell you what I was going to say.
No, I'm
Oh my
embarrassed.
God, Jen Stone.
Because I'm just yelling at you.
I didn't like that they made the fat jokes. You know, that's what I was going to say. Is that what you thought I was going to say?
No, that's not what I thought you were going to say.
What did you think I was going to say?
I forgot. But I had known that there was a part, anyway, okay, so you didn't like the fat jokes, which is understandable.
But then I lost all this weight.
You were-
and then,
yeah, you
and
were
then they
truly
kept
hard.
making fat jokes. And
But I think it was like, I don't know.
heavy.
Why
I mean, am I allowed to say fat or not fat? I was
don't know.
240 pounds.
I can't keep track anymore.
And then I lost 35 pounds
Yeah.
in
You
hiatus
looked
time.
great.
Oh, thank you.
But and
Jen.
also too, like you were never fat. Like you were never like.
All right, listen. When I can't fit into my jeans, you know what I mean. Like
You
I
get
had,
new jeans.
yeah. And listen, everybody. I'm not
yelling
talking
at
about
you today. I'm so sorry.
I'm not talking about anything other than my own experience. Whether
That's all you can do.
I was not happy. Listen, I sat down with a buddy of mine.
Yeah.
And his name is Liam. And he goes, are you happy? And I'm like, yeah, I have a TV show, a girlfriend, my kids. Everything's great.
Yeah.
Except for my weight. And he goes, okay, for 1 month, we're going to do Runyon Canyon.
That's a good friend.
And so we
Yeah.
did. And then every once in a while, I'd like not answer my phone.
Also,
and he'd
fuck
come.
you that's all you had to do to
No,
lose
but listen,
30 pounds.
Listen. So, no,
sorry.
it's not all. But
Okay,
we started doing
sorry.
Runyon every day.
I'm
Just
so
making
aggressive.
it. But we started making it a regular thing. And
Yeah.
like if he didn't call me, I would go to his house and get him out of bed and vice
love
versa.
that.
And then we started, don't judge, but we started doing it with Runyon Canyon, by the way, is a hike. And then we started doing it with like vests, like weights.
Why would I judge that?
And then
Because apparently I'm judging everything today, so that's fair that you
because
would say
you know,
that.
you
but
see the guy going up Runyon Canyon with the
No.
vest thing on. He
I
looks
have a
silly.
vest.
Then we started doing spinning.
Oh.
And
Before Peloton was cool.
before we Andrea was the teacher at Made in LA. I don't think it exists anymore.
Yeah.
But we would go spinning, and I started losing weight. I started eating healthy because it's all about eating. Eating healthy
eating
is
eating is
important.
most of it. Yeah.
But if you go spinning for 2 hours, you're not going to eat
pass
the
out.
donut. You're not, well, you pass out, but you're not going to have that donut. You're not going to eat not healthy. So I'm talking about being healthy. It wasn't just about I was not happy with who I was, what I was seeing.
Sure.
So okay, answer that question for you. What did you not like?
Now you're being bossy with me. Answer.
I mean, part of being an actor is accepting all.
Yeah,
that,
and that's
you know
the
what I
thing
mean?
is like it's
Making it
hard.
work.
It's hard for me to go back and be like, I hated that storyline. And I love that I'm getting onto you for saying the same thing over and over again because I'm going to say the same thing. I'm just completely full of shit today. This is a total hypocrite. I'm sorry. But the storyline with the movie, I just felt like
was fucked up.
Well,
okay, no,
okay,
but
but
listen,
it's-
I'll tell you this:
all right.
you are a Russo, even though your last name is Finkel.
Yeah.
You should have been in the movie more. One of the questions was, why were you only in the beginning of the movie?
Yeah.
And I think it's because the movie was because we had Disney Channel, and then you had the Disney Channel movie,
And it was kind of separate,
and it was
yeah.
separate. They were all different people. So, and we've said this that the original script was
All
different,
backwards
like Jake's character was saying things that Selena would say, and then Selena's character was saying things that David would say. And I'm sorry, but whoever wrote that script didn't watch the show. And then Peter Marietta went in and fixed it. and made it work. And it was a good movie.
Yeah.
But you should have been in it with the family.
Not, and I appreciate you saying that. That's very sweet. But that's not why I didn't like that storyline. The reason I didn't like the storyline between Alex and Harper is it because we've talked before on the show about how cool and beautiful it is that our writers and us as actors tried to elevate the show from just the Disney Channel genre instead of just accepting it and letting it lie there.
More ensemble, more family, a little more mature, highbrow.
Exactly. So that storyline to me just fell flat on losing all the heart, all like just the normal Alex and Harper adventures that we went on. It just felt really hollow. And that was hard for me. Even like once I'd gotten past the fact that I wasn't going to get to come on this great like Puerto Rican adventure with you guys, like once I'd gotten past that point, it just felt really like even as an actor, just in those moments, just felt really hollow, and it just bummed me out because it just to me felt like a storyboard version of our relationship, of Alex and Harper's relationship. Like it didn't have like the depth and the weight to it that even like our like most like surfacey adventures had, you know. So, but anyway, that was my answer.
Even though I think the movie was
fun. It's fun.
Was well done, and I'm always about money. And it was SAG. It wasn't after, so we made residuals.
It must have been nice for you.
But you made some residuals off of that, no?
Not much.
Disney.
You had to be in it to make residuals. Court Jane M. Did the cast keep their wands? Was it hard doing all the multiple? We got multiple levels.
I never got a wand. I had a wand in the movie, but I didn't get to keep it.
You got to keep this wand.
I got my own wand. Right now, everybody, I'm holding a pretend wand that looks like Selena's, and it makes this noise.
And you love that noise so much.
Jen doesn't like it.
Jen has mixed feelings about that noise. Okay, more parts to Court Jane M's question. Was it hard doing all the technical stuff behind the camera?
There was in the beginning, you've said this, that every once in a while when we did a special effect, we do a plate where you just leave a camera on and you shoot the area, and then you, oh my God, I'm remembering something else now, but you would then shoot.
It's all coming back to me.
Something on the right and then something on the left, and you could mirror all three of those images together. But I remember, and tell me if I'm wrong, but we would have the multi-camera, the 4 cameras there. We would shoot something, and then we'd have to go change our outfits and do all that. So they would put like hazmat tape around the cameras.
You couldn't touch them.
You couldn't move the cameras.
That's where technology was at the time.
But nowadays it's different.
You know? The technology. It was interesting because like we did the show at such a turning
point.
I was going to say a Horcrux, and I'm like, that's Harry Potter. That's not it. That's not.
A Horcrux is something you put a part of your soul into.
Yeah, no, nicely done, very good. No, like such a critical shift in technology, not just with social media, but also just
the phones,
with like
technical, smartphones,
but with CGI
started.
and things like that. Like so much was changing at that time because like all the Marvel movies and stuff had not yet come out, and like all of that CGI was still really changing rapidly.
It evolved for sure.
A lot.
And most of the, to answer the question too, most of the technical stuff was done on Thursday without an audience.
Yeah.
So we could take the time and do all of that. And then the editing department would cut something together so we could show the audience that we could move the story along. You film on Friday, you would film the first scene, second scene, and then we would play back the next scene so everybody would know where the story was.
Yeah.
You know.
And then last part of that question was she was asking me that I lived in Texas before. Did my family move out to California for the 4 seasons? My mom and I came out to California for like 3 months out of the year, 6 months out of the year since I was 9. She moved out with me for the first 2 seasons, and then the last 2 seasons my dad came out. So my parents were out for a little bit, but my dad also had to stay with my brother who was back in high school in Texas.
People have responsibilities. Yeah. People have to do things. I didn't move. My parents, it's been a day, but I will tell you this. I directed an episode. Did you know that?
You did?
The first episode I directed was the Leprechaun episode.
Yes.
And I got to show that to my dad.
Yeah.
He got to watch an episode of television that I directed, and that just, I was, you want your dad to be proud of you, and so showing that to him was just, it was a big deal for me. So, and my mom was always so supportive. My mom would always say to everybody that we all have an individual gift, that we all are special. And whenever I would go to an audition or somewhere, she would say, "Give your gift."
I remember you saying that, and
so sweet.
I think I only got to meet your dad once, but I spent more time with your mom. And your mom, I know, is such a special person, but all I can say is, like, you are such a special human being. So your parents
did good.
They did good.
So did your parents.
Well, I appreciate that. But yeah, I love that you got to show him that, because you do just want to make your parents proud, and you do just want to share what you love with them.
It was really wonderful. And for people who don't know, my dad was pretty popular and did a lot of great movies and everything. Yeah. And his name was Dom DeLuise. And everybody would always say, Dom DeLuise is your dad?
Yeah.
And then at a certain point, people looked at my dad and said, "You're David's father?" Which was pretty cool.
I would imagine so. Yeah. All right. Before, keep it in.
I'm not crying.
I'm not
My
crying.
dad gave great acting. I was doing a movie one time with Jason London and Wayne Knight and Scott Michael Campbell and Scott Grimes. I can't believe I remembered all their names. And I called my dad and I was like, "Dad," and we were all on speakerphone. I said, "Dad, do you have any advice for acting?" And he said, "Lick your lips before the close-up and make sure you don't have any snot in your nose.
Yeah.
And if you need to cry, pluck a nose hair." So to everyone, if you can't cry on cue, then pluck a nose hair. Yeah, it works. It really does.
Professional
acting
on a
advice.
Mug, by the way, you've said this a few times, and it's great advice. I love it.
Well, I'm going into the crystal ball.
Oh,
too.
he's going in. He's sticking his big old fingers into the crystal ball.
You find a question. I have to read this. Okay, here we go.
Yes.
This is a fan, but I don't know who. Who broke character the most? Not Maria. She never broke.
No, she was very focused, very on it. Probably Jake. Jake broke a lot. But Jake also just enjoyed the comedy of it.
Yeah.
Like he loved having a good
12
laugh
when we started.
Yeah, he was 12. So yeah, he broke a good amount. There were times where I'm like, "Jake, keep it together." But he's like, "You're so funny." I'm like, "That's my job."
Okay, here's number 2.
Yes.
What was a day on set that seemed like absolute disaster, but ended up working out?
Oh, that's an excellent.
You think about that.
Yes.
We had, and I've told this story, we had a big thing where I had to take a bun, like a bread, and throw it through the kitchen.
Oh, that's right.
But I think Jill, whatever, it's not her fault, but there was a big bag of bread that they kept, the props would go. But the bread, we were rolling, and the whole bag of bread was there. So it didn't make it into the show, but I didn't break. And I just took the whole bag of bread and threw it at David,
which was really funny. Yeah. I remember
Is there anything that went wrong you falling in the seat? That was a mistake.
That was a mistake, but I loved mistakes like that. That to me was, I loved it, because those are mistakes that to me woke the scene up and made it so much more real and so much more honest. And I loved mistakes.
Right.
Like that.
And I wasn't saying it was a mistake and bad. I was saying a mistake that ended up working out.
No, the one that I'm thinking of is in the Gert Barn.
Oh, where had to try to.
So yeah, because
that was mashed potatoes, right? That were coming out.
It was dyed mashed potatoes, and the reason I say that is because it was supposed to be one of those classic Disney Channel
oh my God,
yogurts everywhere, like all that kind of stuff, and you're slipping and sliding in it. But the way that it was set up, and I'm not sure what happened and how that we really had Selena and I had to work really hard to make just a little pile of yogurt that messy.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't really that messy. It came from one source in front of us, and it was just a small pile. So she and I had to really kind of make
something out of nothing. Yeah.
Make something out of nothing. And so it was challenging. So we really had to get underneath it and really had to kind of force it a little.
And then you went and got the cone.
The cone in my shoe and all these kind of things.
And then you slip, right?
And then I slip. And the slip was genuine. And then that was when I was like, okay, we're gonna make this work. This is gonna work.
But
But at first I was like, I don't know if this is gonna work
did you
because it's
get
such a small
injured?
amount.
Did you get hurt? Did
No.
they stop shooting? Did they come in? What happened?
No,
I wasn't there.
No,
So I don't know.
I kept going because that's what you do. You keep going.
just got right back up.
Yeah, I got right back up. I think maybe I had like a bruise on my butt, but I've had lots of bruises on my butt. I'm good. You know what I mean? Like I was always the actor that I'm like, if it hurts, it's working, you know?
Yeah.
Which I've learned with age is not smart. Wear the knee pads.
Wear the knee pads.
Wear the knee pads.
There
Nobody's
was-
giving you any awards for being a martyr.
Yeah, I think there was one time where there was like a teeter-totter on the New York street set, and I was supposed to someone jumped on it and I was supposed to go straight up into the ceiling or something. I was like, I can do this. But they had a stunt guy.
Smart.
But then I was supposed to get thrown into a garbage pail. And I was like, I can do this. I can do physical comedy. So
Let me do my comedy.
I thought the garbage pail was like one of those big garbage pails that was
Is it like one of the
aluminum kind of garbage pails,
okay.
right? It's a big one. And I was like, I'm going to throw myself into it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I got this. I didn't realize it was like hard.
Yeah,
It was
I think I
a
remember
heavy thing. So I launched myself into it and it hurt so bad. Again, with my shoulder, I broke my shoulder one time at the Emmys, but I hurt my shoulder.
Yeah.
I didn't tell nobody.
Was it the same shoulder?
No. I mean, this was before.
Okay.
I probably led with the right shoulder. I don't know. The right
yeah.
shoulder is the one that I hurt the collarbone
That's your
on.
comedy shoulder.
But my comedy shoulder. But I never told anybody that I was injured. But there is an episode where I launched myself into a trash can.
I'm so excited to get to that episode.
Yeah, we'll see it because we're doing a rewatch podcast.
Are we?
Oh my God, who has more fun than us, Jen Stone?
We have a lot of fun. Do you want to ask one? Or you want me to?
I'm
ask
going to
one?
do another
All right,
question.
you
Hold
do
on.
it.
What would you have told yourself when you were on Wizards? Like now, this 30-year-old Jen Stone telling the 14-year-old.
I would tell myself a lot of things looking back. But I would tell myself to be in the moment and to really savor it.
Wow, to enjoy the time more. Is that what you're saying?
One of the things I regret about the show is, and also too, like I try not to judge myself too much about it, even though like I hate that this is kind of where I went with it. But like, it's unnatural for a teenager to have that kind of attention on them and to have that kind of
Scrutiny, being judged.
not necessarily that, but like to have that kind of, for lack of a better word, power, of attention and resources and a lot of different things. And so I kind of got a big head where I was like, I'm so done with this show. By the last season, I was like, I'm so done with this show. I'm so ready to move on and have my ABC Family show and my ABC show. And then I'm going to do movies. And I'm going to be a big star and like all this bullshit, right? Like just like, I don't know.
Which could have happened in a second. And I love that you went into 40s star.
I'm going to be a star, kid. But the thing is like, I'm so thankful that, granted, it's been very hard, but I'm so thankful that my life went a completely opposite direction because I needed to be humbled. I needed perspective. I needed to be, for lack of a better term, being taken down a few pegs to kind of be woken up to the fact of like, look, you're really lucky. And any chance that you get to do what you love is a blessing.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing that if I could go back, I regret that I ever took any part of that for granted. And so I would tell myself to stay in the moment and to savor every single second, even if I was 17, 18, whatever, and like, I'm ready to move on to more adult things, like get over yourself.
And that's
like,
good
enjoy
advice
it.
for anybody, whether you're on a television show or you're just living your life. I mean, I think that's great advice.
Thank you.
And
What would you say?
I agree with you. I second that. But I'll tell you this. I saw you savoring it. I saw you enjoying yourself.
I did.
I saw that. I mean, I understand that everybody,
Yeah.
I mean, not everybody, but most people at the end of a show, because we knew it wasn't going to last anymore.
Yeah.
Television shows can go 10, years, but on Disney, all the kids age out, basically.
Yeah.
So they have to go away. But what would I tell myself? Just all the bad stuff. Don't let the producer bring in the guy who served you papers to get sued. Don't let that happen.
Oh no, that was such a bad day. I just remember hearing you scream from the other side.
I was so
the
unhappy. My
soundstage.
ex-wife somehow got the process server.
We got to wrap up the
come
episode.
in.
You can't end the episode with the ex-wife served me paper story.
Okay, well that happened, but the ultimate and I believe that good turns into bad and bad turns
true.
into good.
I
that.
agree with that.
And ultimately, it was fine because I ended up spending a lot of money on attorneys, but I got out of that situation and proved myself. But what would I tell myself? I'm going to go with the same answer as you and enjoy it more, like savor it more. I do wish that I could have been a little more in the moment of what was happening. And I did have fun, though.
No, we all had fun.
And we had free Diet Cokes. It was the best.
We had fun and free Diet Cokes.
Yeah.
No, we all had fun. I think it's really hard in general to stay in the moment. And so on that note, guys.
Wait, can I say one more thing?
Please.
When we shot the show, the audience would always come down.
Yeah.
Down to the floor, to the set.
Yeah.
We would take pictures with everybody, and I love that. I love that we got to see and be with the fans.
I do too.
I love taking pictures with people. I was out recently at the farmer's market.
Yeah.
People were like, "Oh my God, you're Jerry Russo," and I was like, "Let's take a picture." And they're like, "You're so nice," and I'm like, "So are you." This is great. I just wanted to say this: Selena was about to. She couldn't stay. She had to leave. So she had to leave right away as soon as we finished shooting the show. And she went up to the audience and she said, "Thank you to you guys. We wouldn't be here without you."
And it's true.
Really, but I had never seen someone talk to the fans that way. She was so personal with them.
And she stayed that way.
100%.
Like that's something that's amazing to me with all the success that she's had. She stayed so connected to the people that got her there and keep her there. Because the thing is, I always loved, I think it's Johnny Depp who said, it's the fans who sign my checks. And it's so true.
Yeah, and he's the best with
it's so true. So why anybody doesn't appreciate you guys,
and I just
blows
wanted
my
to
mind.
say, we appreciate you. I appreciate you and thank you. And if you see me out on the street, say hello and we'll take a picture.
Yeah,
it's $1.75 a photo though.
He's so full of it. I've been out with David, and when people have seen us and recognize us, and I can speak for you and I can speak for me on this, and stop me if I can't, is we love saying hi. We love hearing what you love about the show and what maybe you didn't love about the show. And it's so special to us about, the things that stay with you guys, because it's been such a special part of our lives. And I know we use the word special about Wizards over and over again, but it's true.
We appreciate it.
Yeah.
So thank you guys. And I'm so happy we get to do this.
I know.
I heart you, Jen Stone.
I heart you too. And we heart you guys. Bye.
Bye. Choose. It's German for goodbye.
Hey guys, thank you so much for checking out this week's episode of Wizards of Waverly Pod. And if you want clips from this week's episode, head on over to the Podco YouTube channel. The link is in the description to follow. And if you just can't get enough wizards in your life, I know I can't, then head on over to our Patreon and follow for exclusive weekly bonus content. The link is also in the description. I'll see you next week.